Okay, I am nobody, also known as Calix Smith to most. Uh, this is about the progress in my work and how I found proximity as a means of expanding on my concepts, and apparently about being close. Proximity is a nearness in space, time, or relationship. And if we all living in Bermuda and residing in Bermuda, the fact of the matter is we understand this very well. Communities are very tight-knit, relationships are very close, familial bonds are everything. And as I started out as an artist, what I understood was that the narrative that we as visual artists were creating was incomplete as far as I was concerned, what I was seeing. And because of that, I wanted to, I guess, in my own way, create a complete narrative, or at least round it out a little bit more. So my work is normally of a socially conscious nature because, again, like, these are things that I'm close to. These are things that I talk about, are social issues, because even if I'm not going through it, I empathize. So proximity within itself kind of came to me via conversation with a friend. I'm blessed to have friends that come from different walks of life, and it was a word that I wasn't familiar with. And I'm that type of guy that's gonna Google some, like, if I don't know it, I'm gonna Google it, I'm gonna try and find it out and figure it out. And it was almost epiphical, I guess. It was an epiphany. It was like, yo, this was the thing that I was missing. Because before that, I think the way that my work came across was confrontational, vulgar. It it was a lot, just based on the fact that it didn't come from that place. It came from a place of love. It came from a place of empathy. And you search for a way to ingratiate people to the thing that you're talking about. You you try and get them to feel the deep empathy that you feel as well. And sometimes, because of the nature of my work, clearly, you cut people off. You close them off. Again, not my intentions, but I'm pretty unabashed. I have a rebellious spirit, and more often than not, you can quote me as saying I don't give a. But if you want to galvanize people and ingratiate them to a cause, it may not necessarily be the best way. So I tried something different. Now, I didn't want to compromise the aesthetic because I felt like it being unabashed made a whole lot of sense. And apart from that, what was the ingredient? Like, what was the thing missing? And it it led me to what is currently on display now at the Bermuda College Art Gallery. It is an exhibition called The Untitled EP. I follow this theme of, like, I love music, so EP made sense. I had a mixtape and I had an album previous to this. But in a way to create proximity with the viewer, I chose various ways to do this. I used one of my social media platforms, which is Twitter, and I started a conversation. So if you followed me on Twitter, you had some sort of understanding of what I was trying to communicate, or I was leading you in a direction. And the hopes of that was to kind of bring people into space and have them under an understanding. But also, since I only use Twitter, a lot of people also don't follow me on that platform. I'm probably only been using it since October. But that's important as well, because the fact of the matter is, some of us aren't close to certain issues. We have no real understanding of it because we have no tangible experience of it. So with this exhibition, what I did was, as soon as people came, I told them I had a gift for them. The gift was by the way of a pamphlet, and it had a set of instructions. You know, galvanize around your cause. You want them to feel it, or maybe half-hearted. And I think up until this point, it's been a success. This exhibition is currently on display at the Bermuda College up until August, so there's a lot of time. If you wish to go see it, please do. If you want to be a part of the participatory element, contact me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. Like, yo, hit me up when this is all done and we can work something out. I would really like your input, your insight, your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Calix. Do we have any questions? Yes, here, this lovely gentleman at the front.
Hey, Calix, thanks a lot. How long have you been working on this project or exhibition?
For the better part of a year, looking for the right space, because that's important to me. Location is important because it's centralized around the concept itself. So if I wanted to create closeness in space, proximity, then it had to be small. What's really dope about the Bermuda College Art Gallery is it is small in that way, but it's also intimate, and I've been told that I'm an intimacy trigger.
Is that, hello. Thank you for your talk. You talked about getting people involved via the pamphlet for this particular show. Have you done something similar with other shows in the past or other kind of art projects, like looping people in a certain way? And if so, how?
Yeah, so apart from being a visual artist, I'm an installation-based artist, which basically for me allows me to use various media, various sources, different things to kind of get people involved. I've had people confined in space and bombarded with content. So you can't get away from it, like, deal with it. Site location is important. So recently we had an installation, I'm drawing on memory, via a group of artists that exhibited at Casemates. And that was so dope because it's site specific, content specific, and I just genuinely appreciate it.
Hi, Calix. Thanks for your presentation.
Hey, Ms. Patterson.
Good evening.
Hey.
As an artist, have you been able to pinpoint why there is such a disconnect in such a small community?
I think it could be a myriad of things, but if we're talking about always being close to something, I think the natural response may be avoidance. Like, quite literally, it's too much. It's too much to handle. I mean, I've heard testimony from people that literally say they can hear two spouses fighting and arguing, and the police get called. I mean, look at where we are. We're in the Bacatown area. Like, if you lived here or know people here, like, if you look at how close homes are, like, done. Like, my brethren in Happy Valley, I could literally see through his neighbor's window from his porch. I think avoiding things through alcohol, drugs, and whatever outlet you possibly have may be only natural, because is only 20.54 square miles. That's a lot. It's a lot socially, and everything's concentrated. Bang.